on this computer. And this is week 2. I feel like I always am like, is it week 2? Is it week 1? Because it's the offset.
Same.
Week 2. Week 2 is a weekly thing.
Yeah, because like on all our documentation, we like 0 index the weeks for whatever reason. We're like week 0, first weekly sync. Makes no sense.
It makes sense in like the software engineering developer context, so it's all good.
I am making a note to make that less confusing. And it'd be cool to have a bot that's like, that tells us, because I struggle with the same thing. I'm like, wait, what week is this? Bot. Okay. Anyway, hi, week 2. 3? Happy week.
Golfo, are you demos?
Yep, I'm going to do the demos today. And so I'm sorry the past week I've been so busy. I didn't even check anybody's work or code. So now you'll be demoing for me. I'll be seeing it for the first time. And I hope I'll be less busy in the next week because I was a bit absent this past week. So which team wants to start first? No volunteers? Okay, Katja, do you want to start? So show us what you've got this week.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm with Katya's team, and I'll demo the production app first, and then Katya will just walk us over the code. So I'm just trying to share my screen from here. Okay, it says it's disabled.
Okay, it should be good. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, yes. So our task for the week was to can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
I can't see your screen yet though.
You can't? Okay.
I just see black.
Can you see it now? Or you still can't see it?
Yep.
You can see it now. Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, our task for the week was to enable users to create a token, right, on their first time of using the app. Or if they already have one, then just redirect them to the list view so they can view the items in their shopping list. Once they click this button to create a shopping list, there's a token generated here. Can we see in local storage? Yeah, can we see it in local storage?
Yep.
Okay, so the token is generated and it's stored in local storage, and they are redirected to the list view. If they go back, or if and the token is still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are redirected here. So I will just try like this. Right, so as long as this token is stored here, they are always redirected to this view. If we, however, delete this, and then we go back, yeah, you can see that it shows that screen again. Yep. So Katya would just show us how we built that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I see a nice URL on the top, so it says list view, so you know where you are exactly. I also like the button, and you followed the instructions perfectly. I mean, that was the objective, and that's what you did. So congrats.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What a nice VS Code theme. So Tsunemi, are you still presenting or is Katya?
It's me.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
So like Tsunemi said, our task was to add a redirection. We needed to send a user with a token to the list view and a user without one to the home screen. We did it the following way. First, we created a piece of state to track the token, and we defaulted to initial token. The initial token is the evaluated result of the following check anytime our page loads. We first make sure if the token from the storage variable exists. If it does, we're going to get it. If it doesn't, we're going to default it to an empty string. Next, we save the token state anytime that token changes. And when that happens, we access that local storage with the local storage and run set item method setting an ID token. And next in our JSX, we do conditional rendering. We say, if token exists, do a redirection. So if a user has a token, we want to redirect them to the list view, else we want to show them the home screen. And also here we are passing the handle token creation prop. The function gets fired every time the button is clicked. And yeah, this is it. That's how we did it.
It's awesome, nice, very clean. I like that you used the hooks for the token.
It's all about
Sorry, what is what? Okay. And I don't have any questions. You gave a very nice explanation. It was very straightforward. If anybody else has some questions.
I don't have any questions, just comments. That was so beautiful, very clean code. And I loved the way that you broke down that demo into one person showing me why, one person walking through the code, and it was very clear and insightful. So great job, good way to go.
Good job.
Oh, I was just gonna, just one more comment as well. The conditional rendering of the home view based on if there's a token in one, it looks super clean. Really good work on that one as well.
Yeah, because when I tried to make it the last cohort, I think I didn't make it so in such a simple way. I tried to make it another way. It was more difficult. So good job on that. Okay, so if anybody else doesn't have any comments or questions, we can move on to Cynthia.
Hi. Okay, I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the task that we had to do this week is present the user with a form, and then where they can add the item, and then once they click the add button, and then it's added in the Firebase, and then also the user can see the added item. Okay, so let's try that. Maybe shows, and I add. So then it's going to be added here. This is because I already have a token. Okay, cool. I won't remember, but maybe it's this one. It's this document. Yeah, but then, yeah, this is how it's going to be. Let me also share the code. So, so we first passed the token that we got from the other group as props here, both in the add view and the list view. And then in the add view, so here's the token. So we first added the form, the selects and the inputs. So, and then once the user clicks on the input, this handle change will be like, it will be code, and then it will set the state for each the selected option and for the input option. And then once the user submits, click submit, this handle submit also will be code. And then, so what we did, if the document is not already there, so we initiated this variable called docker variable, and then we initiated it to false. And then we first check if the user has written something, has just written an item to be added. If the user didn't write an item, this there will be an alert saying please write an item. And then if the user has added an item, then we'll create this constant to create the item object. And then this is where we add the item to the shopping list. So we first do the query, and then this query snapshot get the result. And then for each document, we first check if the document contains a token that equals to the token that the user has selected or has shown. And then if it equals to the token that we have, then the document is available, will be set to true. And then we'll update that document to have that new object. But then if the document is not available, then we'll add, we'll create a new document and then add an array of item, initiate an array called items, and then add the new item, and then also add the token. And then we also set the name and all these variables to the same state it was. Yeah, and then for displaying the items on the list view, we first got the items from the shopping list. So we just use this where, so if there's a token that equals to the user's token, then it will continue and then set this state to have the data that's in that item, that's in that document, sorry. So, and then after it will update the list view, adding a list of each item that's been found in the purchase item collection. And yeah, that's it. Oh, I also added some CSS to style the button and the form container. Yeah, and the list. Thank you. I don't know if Ibrahim is already here, but maybe he can add something if he's here. Okay, I think he's not here. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Really nice work. You've done great. I have a couple of questions on the code because, as I said, I didn't even look at it. I didn't have time. Please share your screen again.
Oh, okay. Let me share. Oh.
In the add view, I think that's where you have default values for the item. I think you have like the name is empty.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the default. So what happens if you try to add an item without giving a name?
So without giving a name, that means there'll be an alert that says please write an item. So that means it won't be added.
Okay, awesome.
That answers your question.
Okay, thank you. And what is the, you import, I think, a UUID item somewhere.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot to say
What's
that.
that one?
Yeah, so because when we're trying to do the list thing, it was asking that each list should have a unique ID. So we use this, it actually generates a new ID for each list. So that's why we used it.
You know, I would just add a number, but this is even better because I think this guarantees that each ID is unique. And
Yeah.
so nice thinking add in this library. And also I like that you trim the name. So in case somebody adds some spaces and it doesn't save the spaces, it trims the extra spaces from the name.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great job. I also like how you either add the item or update the document. Yep, to me it looks very nice, very clean. Great job.
Thank you.
Yes, I love this. And like really great job rolling with the punches without Ibrahim here and like demoing yourself. Super impressive. I know that that can be really nerve-wracking when things don't quite go to plan, and you did incredible.
Yeah.
So good job with that.
Thank you.
And
Ibrahim is here. I don't know if he wants to add anything.
Yeah. Ibrahim, do you want to add something on the demo?
No. Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
yep, I can hear you.
Nah, I don't have anything else. She has probably she has said everything all. So that was what we worked on this week.
Sorry, you were breaking up a bit for me. I think, but you did great work. And I have a question for everybody. Like, how did the merging go? Did you have any conflicts? Was it easy? Was it hard? That.
Yeah, we did have some margin conflicts. So for the app.js, for them, they had already, so on our side, we had generated a token. So since they were already doing it, so we had to remove our code so that, yeah, the token is generated in the local storage and then we can use that. And also, yeah, I think also for the app.cs, yeah, there are also some merge conflicts, but it wasn't that hard. Yeah.
Okay, and this shows why when two teams work in parallel, a story should be as self-contained as possible, so there's not too many merge conflicts. But that's not always possible. Sometimes stories overlap. So thank you very much, all four of you. You did great, and I wish that you do great and an even more awesome job this week. That's it for me. So now to pass on to the next week's issues, I think.
Do we want to do issues first or do we want to do retro?
We can do both.
Retro is good first. Okay, well, let's do that, and then that way we can send everyone off with the next issues. So I had something I wanted to add. Trying to remember it. Oh yeah, we were just talking about I think before all the developers got on the call, that now that everyone's all worked together and we've gone through 2 merges over the past 2 weeks, now everyone really knows, like, okay, here's kind of the rhythm of the week and like what we what the overall goal is for each week to merge everything into it. And you guys are doing a wonderful job with like demoing your work and sharing your work. And so I'm really excited about what's in store for the next few weeks of the cohort. I am going to share my screen for our retro board. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take about 10 minutes to add cards, maybe at least one card per person for each of these columns. I'm going to send, there's a link to the, wait, where is chat? Wait, oh wait. Just some technical difficulties. Okay, I'm going to send in the Zoom chat here. You'll have a link to it, and then we are going to go over the cards one by one. Each of us will share what we've written, and this is just the whole point of it is just to kind of do what we did last week, where we had our mini retrospective, where we talk about what went well, and so like what we can want to continue doing, and then what could be improved, like if there were any painful points during last week that you were confused, or that you thought to yourself, you know, this could be improved, as like we can improve this as a team. That's a perfect example of something that could go in the what could be improved column. If you have any specific shout outs or appreciations for anyone in the group, if someone helped you, or if you're just appreciative of someone's work, that can go ahead and go in shout outs and appreciations. And in order to add a card, all you have to do is just press this plus sign, and then can just type in your appreciations and what went well, what can be improved in here. And then this last column is action items, and that's just an idea of steps that we could take as a team to improve next week. So it's kind of like what could be improved, and then this is the how. Like, how could we do that? What's something that we could physically or actually concretely do to push ourselves forward? So without further ado, we'll take about 10 minutes so we can meet. Well, we can basically, you can just turn your cameras off and put yourselves on mute on Zoom. We'll stay on the call, but everyone can just go ahead and go through this, add their items, and then we will pick back up in 10 minutes from now. So at whatever hour it is, 40 for you. Okay. Okay, so I think we can, if everyone wants to finish up their last card. Okay, so so let's see what we typically do for these is we're gonna just go down the list, and each person who added their card can just read it or just like elaborate a little bit more on it. And so we can start in the shoutouts appreciations column with Katya's card at the top. Katya, if you want to go ahead and read it.
Which one is the first one for you? Is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. We can look at the screen I'm sharing if you want, if you can see it. Yeah.
Well, first of all, really, really thankful to Julia for these past 2 weeks and for being so patient with us and for doing such a great job at reviewing the code. And very, very sorry for delaying our PR until today's morning. I'm sure Julia had many more fun things to do on her weekend. So big thank you to you for this. Also, Alex, thank you so much for the presentation that you did last week. Yeah, there were like it was done really, really thorough, and I really, really enjoyed watching it. Thank you very much.
Good, glad to hear that. I think Cynthia, you can go ahead and read this one. Or I'm sorry, Katya, did I cut you off? I think. Okay, I think it's good. Cynthia, you can go ahead. I think. Oh wait. Did we lose Cynthia from the call? Maybe. Okay. Okay. In that case, I will go ahead with this one. I'm really proud of all of the developers this past couple of weeks, but especially this week and specifically, especially just I think as we were mentioning before, everyone's really gaining their footing and finding their rhythm in terms of overall team collaboration. Now it's a little bit easier to know what to expect. Everyone's gone through the merge process a couple times, and now it's like, okay, here, this is what we've been through, and this is what we need to keep to do each week to be on a good path. So I'm really, really, really proud to see that that's all coming together in this past second week. And then appreciation for the other mentors, Julia and Golfo. Just like I'm really thankful to have this communication also with you, to just be on top of things going on in the Collab Lab, and always making sure that at least one of us is present and available for the group. So I'm appreciative of that. Shanami, I think this is yours.
Thank you. So I appreciate the mentors for their guidance so far. I think in the last 2 weeks, we've all run a lot of things to you guys, teaching us about code review, Golfo teaching us about Git, and then answering all our questions, helping us with code reviews. I'm really grateful for all the assistance and your patience in putting us through. And okay, yeah. Oh, and then grateful to my teammates for how much I've learned from working with them. I've worked with Katya and Cynthia so far, and they're incredibly brilliant people. So yeah, I've had so much fun working with them. And even Ibrahim, we haven't worked yet, but looking at the code reading he and Cynthia's work this week, I was quite like impressed, and I picked up a few things. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Julia, I think you're up.
Yeah, for the first week, I want to appreciate Katya's effort to do the merge all on her own. So the whole group was able to do their demos. And I want to thank Alex, of course, and Golfo that you helped me with your advice and to make, so I make it through to my first experience as a mentor. Thank you.
Thank you. Cynthia, I think Cynthia's back. We lost you for a second, but I think you're back. Maybe not. Cynthia, are you able to talk or having some technical difficulties? Okay, we can go on to Golfo.
Okay, so thanks to Alex and Julia for picking up the slack, literally, like the slack, literally and figuratively. Especially during last week, I was almost completely absent because of my heavy workload. And congrats to the devs, their work was really solid. And also thanks to Alex and Julia, they kept me updated. We communicated in Slack, so I kind of had an idea of what was going on. So thanks to everybody. And by work, I also mean the demos. The demos were awesome today. Like I was thinking, what are you still doing here? Go get a job.
Seriously, they're so good.
That's so true.
Yeah, y'all are doing a really good job. Cynthia, one more time here on the. Well, okay. If thanks to the mentors for support from Cynthia, and then to all the team members, big thanks. I have learned a lot in the past 2 weeks. So thank you, Cynthia. Okay, on to what went well. Go take it away, Shanami.
Yeah, I think this collaboration, working between the teams and like reviewing code and exchanging ideas, I found it really helpful, and I think we all were able to get in the flow and find it easier to work together.
Awesome. Julia?
Did Ibrahim say something at the first?
I don't think so. Ibrahim, do you have anything you'd like to add for shout outs or appreciations?
It seems like that he doesn't. Any questions?
Sorry, I've been having electricity issues in my place right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm using right now. I'm making use of my phone.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
So shout out to Cynthia. Yeah. Can I give my shout out right now?
Yeah, of course. Please do.
All right. Shout out to the mentors who have been guiding us through. You guys are the real MVPs. So and shout out to my teammates, Cynthia. I really learned a lot, and Katia also. I'm really grateful for what we have worked throughout so far. So I think it's remaining Chineme also that we get to work better next week, or let me see, this week. So that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Julia, for what went well.
For both teams and both weeks, you started very soon with connecting to each other and working on your issues, sorry. And for me, the PRs were on time, and because there was enough time given to me, so I could do the code review, and both teams started immediately to revise their code. And yeah, that's the first week. The merge happened right after the PR was approved. Sorry. Yeah, well done, team.
Awesome. Cynthia. Oops. Maybe we lost Cynthia, I think. The mentors were active in the Slack channel to support. Awesome. Oh, back admitting. Golfo.
Okay. So Julia said hers.
Julia said hers, yeah.
Okay. So Alex and Julia cooperated very well to handle their mentor duties. They took a lot of initiative, and if they saw that anything wasn't going so well, they suggested ideas, and they handled the mentor duties very well. And the dev team seems to have done their homework and have technical expertise. Like the code was very good. As I said again for the demos, I mean, if you have an interview and you present your project like that, that's very good. That's a very nice skill to have. So, yep, that went well.
Yeah, it did. It did. Katya? Sorry, I'm just trying. So, I know I.
Okay, so working in our branches went well, and merging everything to the main. I'm no longer scared of doing irreparable damage to our app. Never done merging before, and very happy to have gotten this experience to resolve a couple of conflicts last week and understand how to do that.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's kind of one of the things too, is like, it's sometimes those moments where it's like really difficult and really like hard to get through. That's like the biggest learning moments. And then after that, you're like, oh, this is no problem. Like now I know exactly what to do. And so, yeah, that seems like one of those situations. And then, yeah, again, this kind of reiterates what I was just saying before about like the really proud of everyone working well together. Really, I think this is the point in the Collab Lab time frame, kind of where the progress really starts to pick up, and then it's really wonderful to see how everyone works together and how everyone improves on things that are already going strongly. And so really looking forward to seeing how we continue to progress going forward. And I am trying to admit Cynthia, but it's not seeming like it's working. Okay. Sorry.
I want to add something.
Yes.
To what went well. Yeah, like Golfo said, I'm also very impressed of how you present the code and how you it seems so relaxed to explain everything. So it seems like you really understand everything what you did. It's really impressive. Really, really impressive. I'm proud.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's really impressive.
Super impressive. It's awesome. I'm so excited to see what continues. We're gonna try to breeze through these so that we can get to the issues. What could be improved? I think Cynthia's in the room now. Okay. Cynthia, are you here? Are you able to talk? No worries if not. Okay, so it says here, oh, go ahead. Okay. You can talk on your what could be improved here.
I have to explain. Oh, okay. So I think on the task that we're working on, there's something that we have to add the token something. So we're not sure how the structure of the database would look, because we had just structured it in another way. So I think there was like an expected result of how it should be structured. So I think that's what I was saying.
That's true.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, that's definitely interesting. I can put this over here actually into action items, because we do have some wireframes that we can share for some of the expected issues. So that's awesome. Thank you, Cynthia. Julia, do you want to add anything there? No, you're good. Shanemi?
Okay, so yeah, I said communication, making sure our partners are aware of any decisions we make regarding the task. Because sometimes, maybe because we're trying to beat time or something, we go ahead and then make a major change, and then partner comes online to say, and it's like, oh, what's changed? I can see a new comment. It's like, oh, okay, then you have to start trying to catch up. So it feels like you're running behind at some point. So maybe if we just let the other person know, I'm going to do this, and here is why, then that would just work better. And then also working within the scope of our like ACEs, so that we're not, interfering with other people's work or creating potential merge conflicts. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome points. Your communication, yeah, that'll just be something. Use those threads in the Slack channel. Those are really good. You don't even worry about, like, sometimes we've seen threads with like hundreds of messages on them. the fact that they're isolated for that is totally means they're totally for you, you and your partner, and you can just communicate in that way. And it's also able for the other pair to see also some communication there, and definitely. And then also working within the scope of the acceptance criteria, it can be super easy to do a little bit more, but just remember that doing a little bit more could be going further into another issue in the future. So if we can really try to isolate those and just like only within that scope, that'd be amazing. Julia?
Yes, I would wish from the developers to interact a little bit more on Slack. You don't have to post something, but it would be great if you could react with some emojis on the mentor's post, so that we can be sure you read it and you are up to date with what we are trying to tell you or trying to explain. And so that we are sure that no one is missing out something. That would be great.
Awesome. I'll add that on to action items.
Yeah.
Golfo, you can go ahead.
Okay, for me personally, I could be more involved in the next weeks, so I'll be more available to check out code, answer questions, and all that. And communication, especially async communication in Slack, could be more frequent. Like you don't only have to post if you have a question or something is wrong. You can post if everything is great and say, okay, today I learned something. I know it's very hard as an introvert. I understand. Sometimes I think that other people can read my mind, but they really can't. And yep, it would be better. You would help us mentors understand more easier where you are exactly, at which point in your work. Yep. Communication,
Awesome.
that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Katya?
Working cross team to anticipate merge conflicts and avoiding introducing anything unnecessary, suggestions to add features beyond the task scope. Both teams have done this. I have done this. I'm guilty and I'm sorry, because this introduces more complexity and more workload. So we should probably be mindful and taking care of each other.
Totally. Yeah, this goes back to also Shanemi's point as well of just keeping things tightly in the scope. Don't worry about I think Julia mentioned it a couple weeks ago, maybe there'll really be a chance to like really design the app and like to fix everything. Also that like if you do want to add extra features, there's that as well. But totally. I think this next one is mine. Yeah, we had some rocky moments during our first week with miscommunications, and for example, Katya needing to spend a few hours resolving merge conflicts. But again, so much improvement over the last week. So I think just moving forward I think this has been reiterated again and again, but just continuing to be clear and communicate with one another, being noisy and Slack and just like throwing something in there, like if you're working on something or what's going on and that kind of thing. That'll definitely prove to be crucial as we continue on over the couple of weeks. Ibrahim, did you want to add anything that you think could be improved on here? Okay, I think we lost him. Okay, so then one more thing, we may just go a couple minutes over, everyone. So for action items I have here, and I'll add these also in Slack, just communication on Slack, reacting with emojis after you've read a post so that everyone knows that you've seen it, you understand what's going on. Screenshots or wireframes of expected result of some tasks, definitely helpful. We will definitely share those as well. I was thinking this is something we can discuss a little bit later because we don't have time, but possibly, I know in our last cohort, we had a timeline of like kind of expected times when the first round of our PRs would be ready for peers to review. And then after that, so it was like Wednesday or Thursday, and then when they would be ready for mentors to review around Friday, before maybe merging on Saturday before the sync. We can definitely talk about that, but it could be a little more simpler to have everything or to have just a general timeline of when everyone can expect certain things to be completed. And then Golfo, a little team building activity.
Yeah, something like, I don't know, some icebreaker questions, maybe a game, but I'm not sure. Of course, this is something extra. It will help us communicate, but if everybody isn't too busy, so that's why I suggested something light and not in real time, like we don't have to do a meet. I'll do some research and find some very easy stuff that we can do.
Okay.
Because yeah, I had another thought on communication, like everybody told me I was a bad communicator. They told me you should communicate more. I was thinking communication is a waste of time. I'll just code more. But then I realized that an hour of communicating has a bigger impact than an hour of coding. And communication should be included in our work time when we code. It shouldn't be something extra. So yep, I might post some ideas on Slack later.
Awesome. I love that. That's great. All right, let's, without further ado, I think we can, oh wait, okay.
Let's go to the issues.
Let's go to the issues.
Yeah.
Take it away, Julie.
I will do. So the first issue for next week is, as a user, I want to join an existing shopping list so I can share a shopping list with another person. Tokens can be shared with other users to allow them to co-manage a given list. Joining an existing list consists of the following. User enters an existing token. Save the token to the local storage. Show the user the existing list. Acceptance criteria for this one. When the user does not already have a token in local storage, on the onboarding home screen, a simple form is displayed that allows the user to enter a token. Entering the token and hitting submit saves the token to local storage, effectively giving them joint control of the list. On submit, show an error if the token does not exist. If they get an error message, allow them to try again or create a new list. For this one, I do have a wireframe. It's our first wireframe. It would be something like this. You have the button create a new list, or here you have the input field where if you have the token, you can put it in here and you can join the existing list, which should show you the products in this list. Yes. And the other issue would be, as a user, I want to be alerted when I'm entering an item that is the same as something already on my list, so I can avoid duplicate items. Acceptance criteria. Show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the exact same names as an existing item. Show an error message if the user tries to submit a new item that has the same name as an existing item, where capitalization has been normalized and punctuation has been removed. The user's original input should be what gets saved in the database. Yes. Are there any questions for these two issues?
No, just a comment for the wireframes as well. I don't know if devs know this, but these are actually available in the GitHub repository. Yes. Under resources, in the resources folder.
True. Yeah. The groups for next week are Cynthia and Katja and Jeremy and Olalekan. If this was spelled out right. Who wants to go with which?
I think I'd volunteer for issue 5, right? Okay. If Lakeland is game to that. Volunteer for issue 5.
Jeremy and Ibrahim, yeah. Okay, great. So the other group will take issue 6. Katja and Cynthia. Great.
I have a question.
Yes.
So for our task, we used this method called array union, which so when it sees that an item has already been added, it doesn't add it. Does it mean that we won't use it?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Golfin.
No. So I want to ask that you mean that now when we try to add something, it already checks if it exists or not? Can you hear me? Yes.
Sorry, could you repeat again? I lost my internet.
Yes. So you mean that right now, does it check when you try to add an item to the list? Does it check that it's already there, so you don't add duplicates?
Yeah. So it checks if the document is already there, and then when it's adding a new item in the array, it uses this method called array union. So the array union, if it sees an item that's already is like the same as what's there, then it doesn't add it. I don't know.
Okay. So the same, you mean the name? It doesn't have to be exactly the same.
We'll have to check that, but I think the name, that's what it just checks, but we'll have to check that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if it's like if you add like tomatoes soon in 7 days, and then you add another one that's like tomatoes not soon, is it the same or is it different? Is it just based on the name? Well, in any case, I think what you can do is just kind of
So
check.
it's based on the name.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was saying, I think I'll have to check again, but when I was reading what that method is doing, it just checks if that item is already there. So I'm not sure which one it checks if it's.
Okay, it sounds cool if that works. It sounds like a nice solution.
Yeah, I would recommend just like experimenting and see if all of the acceptance criteria works, and like if adding punctuation or different capitalization, if that is something that works. And then if not, you can maybe look into other solutions, but that's a cool idea. All right. Does anyone have any other questions? All right, well, I think with that, we are good to go for next week. We will add your pair threads in the channel, and yeah, we're excited to see your work this week, everyone. Good work with the demos, and yeah, we'll see you around in next week and in the Slack.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.